Welcome to the Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Eric Frazier, and with me today is Emerick A. He's the owner and team leader of Keller Williams Preferred Properties out of Prince George County, Maryland. And we have started a discussion about business planning for real estate agents in 2023. And we've covered a lot of territory. Right now, we're focused on the origin, your story, your origin story. Why did you get into real estate? And Emerick has shared his origin story. I've shared mine. And what we're looking for in establishing your story of origin, why you got into business, is some emotional connection. What is something in your story that people can relate to, that would say, oh, wow, that's my story? And then who are you going to share this story with? So I'm going to keep bringing up your avatar, because sharing your story needs to relate to the clients you want to do business with. So Emerick, again, you have a great story and you've done some pretty amazing things in your life. And part of telling your story of origin, you not only talk about, why did you get into the real estate business, but you also talk about some of the challenges that you had to overcome, some of the hurdles that you had to face in and getting to the point where you are today as a professional, seasoned, established, successful real estate agent.
Right.
So, what are some of the things that agents should focus on in talking about their hurdles and challenges getting where they are today? And maybe we can start with ourselves. We'll let you go first.
Right. So, one of the biggest challenges, Eric, I believe and we ignore this, is it's your home life. When you say your origin of how you were raised, where you've come from, that shapes and molds you. And like for me, coming from a single parent home, my father died when I was 2. My mom was raising 4 boys. My best friend, grandmother and grandfather died. They were raising him. And then she took him in. So now there was 5 boys. So you really didn't know and you didn't know the difference between any of us, because she treated all of us the same. Growing up in West Baltimore, and just to be quite frank, just my experience with having 4 older brothers, 3 of which I would say they weren't the best citizens, right? And they always guided me, even the parent, I say, without a father in the home, they always guided me in the direction of saying, don't do what we did, do something different, because you're different from us. And they always said that to me, and they always treated me that way. And so I understood what the right path was. And when I say right, that's because I'm left-handed, right? So I believe left hand is the right hand and right hand is the other hand.
Right.
And so, they always told me about going down that path. And I watched, and I learned from them. I learned vicariously through them. And I say this all the time: I wouldn't be who I am without my brothers. And that's a fact, because they, like I said, they always guided me in the best direction, so that I would always look for the best things out of life. And that worked. That was tremendous for me. And the hurdle was still growing up in the inner city, growing up in an environment where a lot of the people in your space, let's just say, aren't the most productive people. And there's so many temptations. There's so many attractions that are really distractions. And just growing up in that environment, it made you just a little bit tougher learning. And I think one of the biggest things was learning and understand that the streets are a business. The streets are a business. It's just an illegal business. And the rules of business are the same, whether you're in formal business or informal street business. The rules are still the same. The guiding principles are still the same. It's just that one will take you down a path where it will irreparably affect your life and take you down a not so pleasant course, and could possibly cost you your life. And then
Right.
the other part, from a legal perspective, the worst thing can happen is things just don't happen the best way, and you get a chance to start over again. The principles are still the same. People are still the same, because people are people. And in that space, the obstacles that you have to overcome is and for me, I'm saying for me is that I had to find the fortitude to resist the temptation of the street way and stay focused on the legal way. And then in those obstacles and those learnings, I've always been a hustler. When I say I've always been a hustler, I was a paper boy. I shoveled snow. I cut grass. I worked as a short order cook. You get what I'm saying? I did all kinds of things to get me to this place. And the obstacle that I had to overcome was not to be caught up, and this is no disrespect to anyone in those places, not to get caught up in a menial existence, not to get caught up in being satisfied with the day-to-day ordinary lifestyle. That's an obstacle to overcome, because when you're making money and your basic requirements are provided, then if you don't look beyond your basic requirements being provided, then you will stay in that space to say, I'm existing and things are working for me and I'm living. That's an obstacle to overcome. So you go the other way. You say, I'm going to take a harder path. I'm going to step out and I'm going to have confidence in myself. I'm going to step out and I'm going to pursue business in a different way. I'm going to pursue a different lifestyle. That's a challenge. That's stepping out of your comfort zone, because it's easier to do less and do menial things to get you from day to day. It takes a little, and that's an obstacle that you have to overcome. And you have to like test yourself and be willing to step out there and challenge the status quo. So from an obstacle perspective, I look at that as an obstacle. Don't be medial, don't be average. Look to place yourself in a position where you're above average. Now, let me be real. Overcoming an obstacle. Eric, in all of my accomplishments in life, I don't have a college degree. You get what I'm saying? So right. It's about that fortitude. It's about that willingness to step out and be comfortable being uncomfortable, and always testing yourself to push to the next level. And the obstacle is, don't get caught up in the mediocre average life. Again, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And so when we start talking about obstacles, that's an obstacle, particularly when you come from a quote unquote blue collar household.
Emerick, one of the things, in fact, everything you've mentioned here, these are obstacles, these are hurdles that you had to overcome. But for many people, they become reasons why they don't succeed. And so it's interesting that you've kind of laid it out here that, you know, the hurdles you had to overcome to get to this point in your life first began at home. You know, unfortunately, with your father passing young, and then, you know, not having, you know, that father figure in your home, many people will see that as a reason for their failure. And then perhaps being one of five, being the youngest of five, maybe getting lost in the shuffle of life, could be another reason, right? And then, you know, making that transition, not going to college. Instead of going to college, you went to the military, and the military didn't necessarily prepare you for real estate. You had to learn about that, you know, as you were striving just to, you know, improve yourself, become a homeowner, because of the great example your mother set of becoming a homeowner. So you knew you had to do that. But all these things could easily become excuses to you not succeeding, but yet they appear to have been the reasons why you succeeded.
And I received that. Now, let me be clear. I'm not a college graduate. I did go to college. I did take classes. I'm not a college graduate. And to be quite honest with you, it's kind of interesting. I had this conversation a little earlier. I call myself, and this is, again, we talk about hurdles and obstacles. I tell anybody, I was like the dumbest person in my household. My brothers are like super scholarly. They just chose not the best path of life. However, they're like super scholarly. I mean, when I say like, yeah. And I sit there and I'm like, dude, like you guys just had it all. However, they spent their time guiding me not to do certain things.
Right.
And I took full advantage of that. And I say this, and I say it unapologetically, there, and again, overcoming obstacles. A students work for BC students all the time. And I was a BC student, let me make that clear. And in that space, you just have to find that internal fortitude. You have to find that resolve. You have to be resolute in your goals and your objectives. And you just have to work through those things. And it's a little harder to work through them. And you have to persevere to make sure that the direction of wherever you're setting your goals and objectives, you're hyper-focused on making those things happen. So when those obstacles occur, those obstacles are not obstacles, they're just speed bumps. They're just speed bumps, because the obstacle fact means that they're impeding your progress.
That's right.
And when you make them speed bumps, they're just slowing you down. They're a minor impediment to wherever your goals and your objectives, where you want to go. And so with that being said, when we talk about goals, when we talk about obstacles, we can talk about bad partnerships. I've had a couple of bad partnerships. I've had a couple of partnerships that were just, it was just horrible. I can tell you partnerships to where it's costing you $20,000 to $25,000 a month, just that for almost nothing to sustain, to make sure that you can get to the next level. And you can't let things like that take you down. Again, it's your resolve. It's you being resolute in your objectives and your goal, and you understand that you don't let other people take you off your course. You're the only person responsible for your success. So in those failed partnerships, right, you don't let those things take you off your course. You find a way to redirect your energy, redirect your path, and you get back on track, because you understand what your end game is. And so again, obstacles, unfortunate partnerships, unfortunate situations in doing business. We had the market turn back in 2009, 10, and 11. That was the market was what it was. Again, when you're resolute in your goals and objectives, you find a way to work through those. You find a way to use those obstacles or those speed bumps as launching pads, because that's actually what happened in 2008, 9, and 10. Those things happen to be launching pads for me, because, and I'm saying for me in my environment, because I did not take them lying down. I used them as learning tools. And so what happened is, coming through that, you work through that, you keep becoming more educated, you keep working on your path, you keep working on your goals. So in turn, 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, my life exploded. Because I took those quote unquote obstacles, which were really distractions, and I used them to my best benefit. And financially, my life exploded in that, between that 2012 to 2016, to a place where it almost insulated me against everything else. That
makes perfect sense, Emerick. And so you have addressed two areas in overcoming. What are some of the hurdles you had to overcome to get to this point in your life? The first was the home life, your environment, how you were raised, your situation, your family, your environment. And secondly, then being in business, the economy, the changes in the market, having bad partnerships, all these things were hurdles that you had to, step over, that tried to slow you down, maybe even tried to stop you, but they didn't. They slowed you down maybe, but you were able to push through and to get to this point in your life. And being able to articulate what were some of the hurdles you had to overcome in your life? Being able to articulate that to others positions you to be a source of inspiration to others who may feel like they can't do it, whether it be to buy their own commercial building or their own home, or to invest in real estate, or to build a team from 0 to 600 real estate professionals as a real estate professional yourself.
Right.
These are tremendous goals that you have accomplished, and I want to highlight those in this next segment here. But to get there, you had to overcome some pretty serious hurdles and challenges or obstacles. And as you kind of reflect in telling your story, what would you say would be the top maybe 2 or 3 hurdles that you absolutely, that were just critical, that you had to overcome in order to get where you are today?
The unfortunate partnerships.
Number one.
That's like huge, because but number one, they were situations beyond my control. So those were external factors. I chose those partners. Let me make this clear. I own the fact that I chose those partners against my better judgment. I chose those partners. Those partners decided to do something different in their life, and they chose abandonment of the business, right? And so in their choosing abandonment of the business, that put me in a situation where I had to protect my business name. And financially, it was devastating to protect my business name. However, I understood how important my business name was. In fact, just in being transparent, I even lost a couple of investment properties, right, which I would have never thought would have happened to me, to preserve my business name and integrity. Now, let me say this to you, to the tune of $25,000 a month for almost 2 years. So no, it was 2 years, to be honest. It was a little bit over 2 years. And then have to do a final settlement payout on top of that. So you wrap your brain around that. Now, as I said, those were speed bumps. And I had to figure out how to navigate that situation. And to be quite frank with you, I would tell anybody, business credit matters. When you're looking to climb the ladder in business, business credit matters. Being transparent again, I kept my business credit intact at the expense of my personal credit. However, I was debt-free. And so, except my properties. So I was debt-free, so that allowed me to manage things a lot better. It wasn't like I had 50 credit cards, I had car payments, I had all these other things I had to deal with. I just had some other challenges because, again, those properties were in my name. So, you know, I took a hit personally in my personal credit. I kept my business credit intact. Fast forward 5 years, and I am a commercial building owner.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? So had I let that partnership issue take me down the tubes from a business perspective, I would never be a commercial building owner, and a substantial commercial building owner.
Right.
Like to the tune of millions.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So that hurdle, that speed bump with those unfortunate partners, it definitely taught me a lesson. It definitely put me in a place where I had to work through that hurdle. Coming out on the other side, it's a different ball game. So did that answer your question? Does that like?
Yeah, absolutely. Now you gave me, that was number one. I asked you the top 3, but number one, that seems so significant that it probably 2 and 3 probably pale in comparison.
That's an all-encompassing number 3. Unfortunate partnership number 1, unfortunate partnership number 2, the conditions in which we were doing business was number 3.
Mm.
You know, that's
Wow.
like the, and then losing, just to be quite frank, losing losing investment properties, number 4.
Right.
You know,
Wow.
that's a rough path right there.
Right.
But you know,
Right.
I tell people all the time, I don't look like what I've been through.
Again.
I don't look like what I've been through.
Okay. You
And
don't
most
look
of
like what you've been through.
those things would have folded a lot of people.
Right. Right.
However, you know, again, you know, when you're resolute and your goals and your objectives, everything else is just, it's a speed bump.
Right. Emerick, I mean, wow. Thank you for your transparency and talking about, you know, the challenges that you had to deal with, had to face head on, and the fact that you were able to overcome those challenges. And in fact, that leads us to the next question, and that is, what are you most proud of? When you look at your accomplishments this far in your life, what are you
Wow.
most proud of that you were able to achieve? And again, for those of you just tuning in, we're talking about your origin story. How do you communicate who you are? And first, why did you get into the real estate business? And then
Mhm.
what were some of the challenges, the hurdles, the obstacles that you had to overcome? And do you fully understand that? Hindsight is 2020, right? And
Right.
then going from there to what are now, having looked back, why you got into business, the hurdles
Mhm.
you had to overcome, what are you most proud of in terms of your accomplishments so far that has gotten you to this point?
Are we talking business or personal, Eric?
Well, you can be both. It can be both because
Okay.
we're talking about your origin story, and I love how you address this early on, and that you addressed your home life,
Right.
the product of a single mother, and all of that, and then how you were introduced to real estate, and then in real estate business, what you had to accomplish, had to overcome to get to where you are today, and then having looked back at that, uh, what are you most proud of, both personally and professionally, and
It,
how would you communicate that
it
to
it's
the clients?
it's a list, Eric.
Okay.
It's not like, for me, I think of life as all encompassing. I
Mhm.
believe that uh there's a domino effect on life. So to say there's one thing, there's a culmination of things that had to happen before that one thing could happen.
Mhm.
That makes sense?
Yes,
And
yes, it
so
does.
if you ask me the one, if you are you asking me the one thing, or that
No,
to pick
no,
one thing?
give me both
Okay,
personal and
so
professional. Give me
here
the
we go,
top
Eric.
three. Top three.
The
Let's go with the
first
top three.
thing,
Okay.
right? And I'll say this, was making it out of West Baltimore, right? To become the person that who I've become. That's
All
the
right.
first part.
All right.
Okay. And I attribute that to my family.
Mhm.
The second part is that in my life, I've been married for 36 years. I have 2 phenomenal children, right? That's like, in
Love it.
Black America, in any America, that's a phenomenal feat right there, right? And
Right.
then the third part from business is my company. And I say my company because everything around my life has always revolved around my business success. To be a Black man in America that owns a business with 600 agents, 98% of them are Black. To be tremendously respected in the industry, locally and nationally, right? And quite frankly, to own a business that have totally changed the trajectory of so many Black people's life and the trajectory of their legacy, of their family.
Hmm.
If I had to say anything I talked about today, that is probably it. Because in our company, right, when I think of all the people who were 50 and 60, $70,000 wage earners that are now $500,000 wage earners, 300, 400, 500, 100,000, 200,000 wage earners. When you can change the trajectory of Black people's life to say, we're going to change you from a $30,000 a year person to a $150,000 a year person. When you can do that, first off, you change that person's income, right? You change that person's income. Then you change the place where that person lives. Then you change the schools that their kids go to. When you change the kids' schools that their kids go to now, and you change the neighborhood where they live, now you change where their children's children will live and the schools that their children will go to. Hence changing where their children's kids will live and where their children's schools that they'll go to. So when you can change somebody's life that way financially, and the legacy and impact of the quality of life for them and their family within a company, and that's what we've done as a company, and we've done that at a level that I don't even know of another Black-owned company that has done for so many people. You want to talk about being proud, and just think about all of the spinoff companies of agents that have left our company and have opened their own brokerages and their own different businesses. You want to talk about what am I most proud of? The legacy, the legacy of financial health and welfare of Black people in Prince George's County and beyond. That's a legacy for me, Eric, because I don't even know how deep that reaches. And had we not opened up 18 years ago to address the plight of Black people not being served properly in Prince George's County in real estate, whether it be from an agent or whether it be from a homeowner, if we had not opened up 18 years ago, I can't even tell you, I can't even measure the impact of the lives that we have affected. And I didn't even get into all of the classes that I've taught all over the country. This whole business thing, man, is real and it's outside of me. This is not talking about me. This is talking about the contribution to the legacy of Black people. That's what's important to me. And I can keep going because I never, and up until last year, I really couldn't address this issue properly until I sat down with somebody and they told me, they said, Emerick, you are underselling yourself and what the impact of this company, Keller Williams and Keller Williams Preferred Properties, not Keller Williams as a whole, Keller Williams Preferred Properties, and the impact that it has had on Black people in this environment and beyond. It's kind of scary, it's kind of eerie, and it almost brings tears to your eyes, to my eyes, because it's the impact that it's had on Black people.
Emerick, I hear the passion. I see it on you. And, you know, this is the reason why I wanted to do this series of interviews with you about business planning for real estate agents in 2023, because you not only can, you know, speak on these very important topics we've been covering, but you're living it. And you are a tremendous example, an incredible example for all Black professionals in real estate and in business. And it is truly an honor for me to have these discussions with you, to know you, to have you on our platform, the Power Is Now TV network, to share your vision, your thoughts, your expertise to real estate agents who are looking to win in 2023.
Thank you.
I tell you, I'm blown away by the impact that you have had. And as we begin this show today to talk about your origin story, you have demonstrated for those who are watching and are listening, you know, one, why you got into real estate. Two, what are the challenges and the obstacles you had to overcome? And three, what are you most proud of that you've been able to accomplish? And what I see woven through all three of those questions is your passion for the business and for helping people. And as we kind of close out this segment, purpose in understanding and being able to articulate your origin story is so that you can, be able to share it with your avatar, that it can be that your story relates to your avatar. Because as we began this series, we talked about kind of, re-engineering, if you will,
Okay.
the whole business planning. We start with, who do we want to serve? And who are they? What do they look like? What are their goals, their fears, their challenges? How and do I kind of connect with them? And if so, if I connect with them personally, then how do I connect? How do I meet their needs professionally? And so, what is my story? Because I now have created their story and building my avatar. And so, if you could, in just a few words, how we wrap up this segment on your origin story, how does your story fit your avatar and the avatars you're serving in your community?
Okay, so let's be real. And this is, and I say this all the time. I love all people. I just love Black people more because I've been Black for 58 years. And so my avatar it's Black people. That's my avatar. Let's be real. And I'm unapologetic about that. Now, where does that fall? It falls in a place where my avatar is the upwardly mobile, progressive person who looks to be financially secure. They're looking to upgrade their lifestyle. They're looking to come from a place of being learning based.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking to present themselves in a way where they always want to be in a position where they're giving back and perceived to be giving back in their space.
Mm-hmm.
But then more importantly, the expectation is that whatever they're given, they're looking to give it to someone else and not just hold on to it,
Mm-hmm.
because it was given to them, not for them to hold on to. It was given to them so that they could grow their life and then share it with somebody else to help them to grow their life. And so in what I'm saying is my first avatar is Black people. And let me clarify Black people. So, and I have to, Black people, anyone who is in my space that supports my cause, right? And in supporting my cause, they may not all be Black in hue.
Mm-hmm.
They may not all be Black in skin color,
Right.
but they got to have some Black in them to be willing to support Black people. And once you had that inspiration to help Black people in some kind of way, I automatically deem you as being Black in my space.
Wow.
And that's my major category for my avatar. Now, that doesn't say that they're not white people in my space. They're not say they're not brown people in my space. Not say they're not other people in my space. I welcome all people in my space. But just be clear, accept me for who I am. And first, I am a Black man. And then I am a man of the world, because I clearly understand that the world looks at me as a Black man first before they see anything else. We can talk, we won't even get into the rhetoric of all people being equal, because I will never be viewed as being equal. I will be viewed as a Black man first. And I recognize and understand that. And once you can accept me as a Black man, then you can accept everything else that I say or everything else that I do. And I am an example. Unfortunately, I am an example. Sometimes I'm the martyr for Black people, and I understand that. And I'm okay with that. However, that's my avatar, because I want to inspire people that look like me to do something different with their life. That's my primary avatar. And anybody else that wants to join the clan, let's get it on.
Let's get it on. For those of you just joining us, we're talking to Emerick Peace. He's the broker owner Preferred Properties in Prince George County, Maryland. 600 agents work for him. His goal is 700 in 2023. He owns the 40,000 plus square foot building of which he runs his business.
It's 52,000 to be exact.
Correction, 52,000 square foot building in which he runs his business. And we've just talked about the origin story, being able to understand and be able to communicate why you're in the business. What are the struggles you have to overcome? And what are you most proud of in terms of what you've accomplished? And how does this all relate to your avatar, your ideal client? Emerick, you have done a masterful job today in really breaking down the story of origin and using your own life as an example. And I appreciate that. Any final comments as we end this segment of this series of business planning for real estate agents in 2023?
Eric, passion, persistence, and perseverance. If you want to have a great success journey, those are the first three elements. Above all, right? Above all, it takes resolute in your objectives and goals in order for your success journey to turn out to be the best that it could possibly be, and for you to achieve everything that you desire to achieve and that you deserve. So absolutely resolute about your objectives and your goals, and that'll make things happen for you at a different level.
Well, there you have it, folks. The last word with Emerick Peace, business planning for real estate agents in 2023. Happy New Year to you. We hope that this series is inspiring you, encouraging you to knock it out the park, all of your goals, and to revisit your goals and your plans and your tactics and strategies. This is part 3 of your origin story of business planning for 2023. So our next one will be part 4, and that's on your mission, your vision, and your differentiator. So everybody needs to have a mission, a vision, and a differentiator in the marketplace. How do you differentiate yourself in the marketplace from others? What is your mission? What is your vision? Look for that in the next series coming up right here on the Real Estate Roundtable. Remember, we are at our best and we maximize our success when we act now. If you've heard something or learned something through this series so far that you need to take action on, do it now, because tomorrow never comes. Also, please follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all the social media platforms. We are there. Watch us on Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV. Download our TV app, Thepowerisnow TV, on your Android or iPhone. Also follow My Phenomenal World, Emerick Peace's own show, My Phenomenal World, on The Power Is Now. This series of interviews will also be on his platform, My Phenomenal World. And you can find his show and other shows of other extraordinary real estate agents on thepowerisnow.com. Thank you for watching. Remember, we are at our best and we maximize our success when we act now. The power is now.
Want to keep up with the current developments happening in the world of real estate? The Real Estate Roundtable, hosted by Eric Frazier, is a show you do not want to miss. The show features a panel of VIP agents who are passionate about helping people. It is what they do best. They discuss today's hot topics, latest market updates and trends. The panel also conducts interviews with prominent figures in the industry. New episode every Friday live on Facebook and replay on the Power Is Now YouTube channel.